Okay, yeah, okay, look, I still struggle as a man. What is going on, Kingdom? So I'm back with another video. Now listen, before I start this, look, I have gone through the absolute worst. I don't know why, but I've gone through the absolute worst trying to record this video. Like, I've gone through everything. It's like, I tried to record this yesterday. I'm not trying to like vent too much. It's just, I'm aggravated a little bit. I tried to record this yesterday and junk, and freaking, the power went out, like in the midst of me doing this. I don't know what it is, you know? Some people say like, whatever, you make the devil mad and stuff like this. So it's like, you know, when you're speaking truth and stuff. I don't know, but listen, I want to make this video today regardless. My microphone actually isn't working. It was working. Now it's not working. I got like a little bit like just frustrated because I've been trying to do this and it's just been frustrating. But listen, and I wanted to add this onto the podcast. I'm not able to. That's perfectly fine. That's not the greatest intro, but it is what it is. Today we're going to be talking about this incredibly important topic. Now listen, before I, get too deep into this topic, today is Christmas. Today is the day, that is when I'm recording this video. I have the Santa GT, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? And, it's just, today is Christmas. It's a very light-hearted, holidays. We take it right, and we take it as like, this is a holly jolly Christmas, and I believe that is important. And it's also important, for us, to talk about these things, talk about these sensitive topics, walk in the ways that Christ would want for us to, in order to make a difference in society. I make these kinds of videos right here where I'm talking about these topics. They're not always the easiest topics. They're not always, the most, where people always have different opinions on the topic of racism and their thoughts and their opinions. And I think it's important for us to just be able to talk about these things more, whether it's within the church or whether it's within just in society in general, so that we can bring it out, because we have to be able to touch upon the dirt, touch upon the problems that have happened in society before we can make a difference and see the positive outlooks of addressing. We have to address, I made a video on that, we have to address the problems before we can see a solution. And racism is a problem, and we have to address the problems before we can see a solution. So today, this isn't going to be very, very like complicated. I'm going to be talking about racism, what I believe racism is, where has it come from, in today's society. Where does it come from? I'll say not where. I don't know too much about the deep history, but what I do know is what happens within this society today, because I see it right in front of my own two eyes, as I believe we all do, and we just have to understand and realize it. And how can we make a solution, even though I'm already kind of talking about it, which is addressing the topic, talking about it in the churches, in our community, in our places, anywhere, just talking about it, even from any perspective, whether you believe in what I believe in, whether you just anything, I believe that we can all agree that racism is a problem and it's not a good thing, it's a bad thing that leads to separation in society. But when we can work to understand and address these negative issues and these horrible issues, when we just act like everything is good and straight, you know what I'm saying, things aren't truly going to change. They will change temporarily, but they won't truly change until we manage to, really get our hands in the dirt and say, listen, we're not going to live like this anymore. We're going to make this change where we're going to live unified. We're going to live in a positive mind state. But we have to understand what's developing a negative mind state and push that away. Understand what it is. Work for us all to understand that is wrong. Battle against it. The devil's biggest tactic is for him to act like he doesn't exist. When we act like the negative doesn't exist, we never get to really see the fruits of the positive, right? Okay, that's just what I really wanted to say. Now, getting into this topic here, racism. What do I think? What is racism in today's age? And what can we do to change it? Basically, is what I'm going to be saying. Yeah, just mainly those two things. I think there was something else with it. I don't know. But anyways, what is racism? So listen, I've talked about this on, my systematic racism videos, beforehand. I've talked about this before. I believe, right, in the society, in the age that we live in today, the influence, there is a specific influence that, society, what's popular, what's big, what's out there, what's popping, Well, we see the influence, there's a specific influence specifically on the black community. The content that we see on social media that is popular, made by black creators, you know what I'm saying? And, when people make all this content that it's not good. We're being honest here, we're being real. It's not good content, it's negative. It's talking about these things, it's encouraging these things. things that actually leads a lot of people down a dark path, whether it's violence, whether it's drugs, whether it's whatever that it could be, that we see being promoted and popular, and we're hearing from black creators, because when black creators make this kind of content, it's what they get paid to do, and it's what they're encouraged to do, so that more and more, you know, young black kids see this kind of content, they're influenced by it, and now they think that that's cool. Now they want to do it. It's like a control mechanism that I see within the social media age that we live in today. It's just me being honest, right? And it's just me speaking, like I said, it's just me being honest as to what I see, and I believe what we all see, but we don't acknowledge, right? So there's this big influence going on that's really tearing people down. It's really bringing people into this position where it's like almost a brainwashing thing, you know, and it leads us where we're not able to understand what God's plan is, because all that we see is what we're able to see. Like, you know, it's like they're trying to keep specifically the black community in a box. You know, it's the truth, you know, there's only these things that you can do to be successful. You can't do such thing as, like, you know, someone like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't know, you can't do the same things as, like, these really big, you know, just popular billionaire white people can do. I'm being honest. This is like the truth that we see on social media. I'm not saying it against anybody. I'm just saying it as the truth. I'm saying it as the truth. You know, when you see these very like, you know, Elon Musk, or you see like Mr. Beast doing this kind of stuff, or you see, you know, I'm like that's just you. When you see these people doing this stuff, they're getting big and they're getting popular, but how many of the most famous black creators do we see that are truly bringing out that kind of a like inventive, you know, life world-changing positive stuff that these other people are doing? It's not because black people can't do that, or it's not because of that, but it's because it's not popular for black people to do that. It's not brought out in social media, so they're trying to keep black people in a box, right? Is what I see. You know, that's why I remember when Corey X. Kenshin made that whole like YouTube racism video, and why YouTube is like trying to tear him down or whatever, and it's like, you know, you see it because he's an authentic black creator who's not fitting into these stereotypes that like they're trying to push towards in black people. So they'll try and take down an authentic black creator who's not just going by the stigmas and the stereotypes, and who's not promoting the stigmas and stereotypes. They'll try and tear you down for that, you know, and it'll be harder for you to grow and get popular. Corey has managed to do it. You know, Corey X. Kenshin, he's managed to do it, but it's more difficult for you to be able to do it. It's more difficult for you to be able to do it if you're black. In social media, it's just the honest truth. And so, you know, this is what I see, and so this is the influence, right? Now I'm saying that this is the influence, right? And now this is what leads to separation, right? This isn't everybody, but it happens to be, you know, where, you know, when it comes to people who then become racist, right? Wherever we say anybody, whether you're white or Asian, Hispanic, whatever, right? Where racism comes from is, one, we think that racist jokes are cool, which they're not. You know, that type of junk is not cool. That's one. But two, you know, we see like, okay, so there's the influence going on, and then other people who don't understand that perspective, they see the influence going on towards black people in society. They see what's happening, and they choose to say, okay, well now, because this is the influence that's happening, these, you know, just young black people are taught, you know, violence and all this stuff is cool. This is what's cool. This is what you should be doing. These drugs, you should be promoting this and promoting this kind of music, promoting these kind of videos and this content. This is what's going to be cool to you, right? And people are getting paid for it. People are obviously going to keep making that kind of content because black creators are getting paid to negatively influence other black people, right? And just youth in general, right? But they're getting paid to do that because that's what's popular. I've already said that, but and continuing on, other people see this influence going on, and they're like, oh, that's the influence. They don't even realize it's the influence going on just in the black community. It's just, you know, people look at it and think, oh, that's the way black people are. Oh, well then I might as well just, you know, stray away or stay away. That's what happens, right? People see, because of this influence, this negative influence is going on where, you know, it's teaching black people to be these ways. Then everybody else on the outside, everybody else on the outside who's not black sees it and is like, you know, oh, is that really the way that black people are? Oh, well then I don't know, I'd rather stay away from that. That's not the right freaking way to do it either. That's jacked up, and it's not a thing where it's everybody either. So if that's wrong to do regardless, and it's wrong to just walk away regardless, we have to understand though, that's where does it come from? Where is it these stereotypes and these stigmas that we look at? It's like black people are this way, black people. Where are these things coming from? Where are these things coming from in society? What is going on? Where are these topics? Where are these topics? Where are these stigmas, whatever? Where are these things coming from? And that's what's coming from the influence. Everybody else looks at it, they're like, okay, I don't want to be around black people. That's just the truth. That's what happens, right? And so then it becomes a thing where now, and it's like black people see these other people who are like, oh, well, you don't like what I'm doing, you don't like how I am, you don't like me. Well then, like, I don't like you either, and that's kind of just natural human instinct. If you don't like me, I don't like you either, right? And so it becomes a thing where we become all separated by race because of all of this, like these stereotypes, because then it's like that's what happens, where then there's an influence on people that aren't black people. The influence is from, you meet one person who's like, oh, black people are this way, and then you think, oh, black people are this way, and then becomes a thing where now you think black people that way, and then black people think, oh, that person that's not black was that way, I guess all people that aren't black are that way, and it becomes a thing where now, we stereotype everybody becomes stereotyped, we all become separated, each and every one of us, we all become separated, and then it becomes a thing where, there's no unity. There's no true unity. And when we try and act like there is, it becomes a thing where it's not that it's bad to bring unity between races, but we have to understand the problems that are going on in society before we can choose to say, oh, this is, what am I trying to say here? We have to try and understand here the problems and not act like there's a solution. Because if we act like there's a solution, it's fake. It's going to be temporary, where we're going to have this positive thing going on where it's like, oh, everybody's together, everybody's unified, but we still have the same racist problems going on in society. Like, am I lying here? No. So when we choose here to sit here and unacknowledge the issues that are going on in society, in the world, what's going on right now, when we choose to unacknowledge these things, nothing is changing. And that's why we have to acknowledge, we have to talk about the problems. Yes, we can talk about what's happening, physically, to everybody, anybody, whatever, specifically race-wise, whatever, we can talk about those things, but where is it all coming from? Where is the influence coming from? Why are people choosing to be these ways? And I'm gonna end it off with this. I remember seeing, because I had a cinema class, or the class or whatever, and I remember like hearing that there was a film basically where it was like, it was something about the death penalty, and I believe it was like a black male had killed somebody, right, and was put into prison and was like basically going to potentially get the death penalty. And basically what the film was about was why this person shouldn't get the death penalty, even though it's clear and it's obvious, and these are like I said, these are some deep topics here, but even though it's clear and obvious that even though it's clear and obvious this person may have done whatever they have done, to whoever, whatever has happened, whatever they have done to this other person, they may have done it, they may have killed them, whatever, we don't, like, it could be that. At the same time though, why are we gonna choose to just kill this person? And it's like, because how are you going to make it where, it's like black people live in a society where they're influenced to be violent, and then after they're influenced to be violent, then it ends up being a thing where, then they end up being what they're influenced to be, because that's what happens. That's just natural human instinct. Whatever you're influenced to become, you end up becoming, right? And so whenever a black person becomes violent, then because they were inspired by that, by the media, by the people around them, whatever the frick has happened, where that was ingrained into their head, then when that ends up being the life that they were put into to live and be inspired by, you blame them for the violence, and you say, oh, they are going to this person and they're getting this penalty, when I'm just saying here, maybe there's a little bit more of it that we can look into. Why is it happening? Why are these things happening? Why is this violence going on? Why are these problems going on? What is the issue? What is it? You know what I'm saying? That's all I really wanted to say. I think this is just so important for us to talk about. It's tough I didn't get to use the mic today. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get this thing to work at some point, but until then, you know, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and thank you. You have an amazing morning, evening, and now you have an amazing Christmas. You take care, and thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.